Alright, I just did this whole video and my microphone wasn't plugged in, so yeah. So we're going to talk about a lot of interesting things here. So interesting that you should probably just hit subscribe right now. So we're going to be talking about digital signatures. Let's get started. Pluralsight, it's one of the first learning platforms I used as a software developer. You can get a completely free trial and start learning by following a path on pretty much anything. The learning paths combine numerous courses giving you the step-by-step path to reach your goals. Or you can find individual courses on pretty much anything. Maybe you want a class on cryptography, security, Python programming, networking, maybe Java, you name it, and they probably have it. I can genuinely say that Pluralsight helped me advance my skills and my career. I'll leave a referral link in the description, go check it out. So this kind of scoops together all of the information we've talked about in my cryptography crash course or micro series or whatever you want to call it, and it's related to this, and it uses a lot of these principles, but it's not exactly the same thing. So we've talked about cryptography, now we're talking about digital signatures, which is a little bit different than cryptography, but uses a lot of the same concepts and works in a similar way. It's different in its purpose. What we're going to be talking about in this video is how to verify if a message came from the intended sender or if the message has been tampered with. That is different than cryptography, which is to make a message secret in delivery. So very similar, but just a tiny bit different. And it's probably just going to take these things that we've talked about and just flip it around just a little bit so that we're working in a different direction. And you'll know exactly what I mean in just a second. But first, let's take a look at this image, which is an illustration of public key encryption, or another word would be asymmetric encryption, where we have two keys, a public key and a private key. And the public key is used to encrypt. So Bob can encrypt a message designed to be sent to Elise, and the only person that can read this message is Elise because she actually uses her private key to decrypt it. Digital signing and confirmation is going to flip this around a little bit such that it looks like this. Elise is now going to use her private key to sign a message, and then Bob is going to use her public key to verify that that message came from her. So let's take a little moment to talk about the top part. We have a message, we have a private key, and we mix these together, and that goes to Bob, but it goes to him in such a way that the private key is not exposed. And we're going to talk a little bit about how that works soon, but for now, just know that the message and the private key are mixed together, and the private key never gets exposed to anyone except Elise. She is the only one who's going to have access to this private key. But because the public key and the private key are somehow mathematically related, the public key can actually be used to verify that the private key was used in the signature. If someone else crafted the message that was supposedly from Elise, well, using this public key would expose that it's not Elise, because that verification would not pass. So this is very useful for messaging. It's also very useful for things such as files, making sure that you're downloading the right files from web servers. This can be used for all kinds of different things. And a popular application that I am familiar with is the use inside of Bitcoin. This video is not going to be about Bitcoin and the future collapse of our financial system as we know it. I'll save that for a different day because I'm not really into that right now. I'm just really into the technology behind Bitcoin. I just wanted to show you this meme real quick. So with Bitcoin, here's what's going to happen. We're going to use a signature algorithm called Elliptic Curve Digital Signature Algorithm, or ECDSA. And we talked about this a little bit in the previous episode when we talked about elliptic curves used for public key cryptography. And when you have a private key that corresponds to funds on the Bitcoin blockchain, you basically have permission to spend that money. With the public key, a mathematical algorithm can be used on the signature to determine that it was originally produced from the hash and the private key. So in other words, it's just saying that the public key can be used to make sure the person spending the money has access to the private key. So if somehow I was able to forge a transaction, taking money from somebody and giving it to somebody else, that is going to be rejected because the private key is not present in the hash, or the incorrect private key is present in the hash. Now, we haven't really talked about hashes yet, but this is essentially how the private key is not exposed when we are sending a message that is digitally signed with our private key. The data is hashed, and that's actually the topic for the next video, so we're going to talk about that. Now, something I just want you to notice with the asymmetric cryptography, paying attention to the name, it's not symmetric, meaning that when you use the private key on one side, you're going to use the public key on the other. When you use the public key on one side, you're going to use the private key on the other. One here is used for encryption, where the public key is used to encrypt, and the other one is used for digital signatures, where we're actually using the private key and the public key to confirm that the private key was used. Well, just to be clear, the goal here is not to make Hello Bob super secret. Rather, the goal here is to verify that Hello Bob came from Elise. That's why I say this is different from encryption, but obviously very, very related. All right, back to spewing out Wikipedia articles. Here's a good one on digital signatures. Shocking, right? But in here, I wanted to point out that there are various signature algorithms. So we talked about ECDSA, which is the elliptic curve variant of a popular one known as DSA. There is also the RSA signature scheme. We talked about RSA earlier on in the series. And then there's all these other ones that can be used. Now, the next logical thing for me to talk about is hashing, which is sort of a form of cryptography, but we're going to talk about the details of that and how it's different